Hello, I'm Peter Parfitt. Welcome to the new Brit. No, we're in Yeovil and this is Miles Tool and Machinery Centre and this is the Festool Travelling Roadshow. Let's go and take a look at what's going on.
Okay, I'm Phil from Festool and this is the Festool Roadshow. Each year the Festool truck comes down through the UK visiting dealers, giving our end users and those new to Festool or who want to know about Festool the opportunity to experience the product firsthand. And of course each year we have a theme, and the theme this year is Unplugged, and it means that we give an opportunity to everybody who comes to visit us on the roadshow a chance to try out any battery powered machine for any type of application that they are thinking of using the machine for. So the next stage is we're going to take a look around the truck and we can see for ourselves exactly what our machines are capable of.
Michael, these are your premises here in Yeovil. Now, what advantage to you is it having the Festool guys here today?
Well, it's just a great help so that everybody can actually try out the tools and actually see them for themselves and have a go at it, really. So that's the big advantage.
And if in 2 weeks' time someone comes along to your showroom and says, well, I'm really interested in one of these lovely Festool tools, you could show them how it works.
Oh, absolutely! Oh, absolutely! Yeah. So we got trained people here that know all about the tools. So we could certainly do that.
Yeah, brilliant.
So definitely.
How long have you been selling Festool?
It's about 18 years.
Excellent. And that's here in Yeovil.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been here for 45 years now.
There you go. You've got that. Miles Tool
and Machinery.
Miles Tool and
Machinery Centre. That's it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so the theme this year on the Unplugged Road Tool is of course 18 volt. And if you work with any machine from Festool, including working with a jigsaw, we can work with a battery powered machine but of course achieve exactly the same result as you would do with a corded machine. But cut quality is always important. So we can work with a jigsaw. And of course, if we look at the cut that we make, it's clean on the top, which means that working with pre-finished materials is fantastic. And of course, at 90 degrees, it means that the cut is always going to be correct for the work that you want to do. But if we then take the battery away from here, we can then work again with another machine from Festool. And this time we can work with the PDC, 18 volt platform. I don't need to check for anything. And of course, the battery fits straight on into position. So from the jigsaw, we can now work with the PDC. 60 Newton meters in gear position 1, and of course now we have all the power we need to put in the biggest of fixings. So we can put this onto the timber, and you have all the power you need to work in this format. However, with construction and the PDC, absolutely spot on. But of course sometimes you want to work with a cabinet screwdriver, and we can take the battery from the PDC, working with 5.2, and then we can work with a machine like the C18 for working with cabinets as well. So with this combined 18 volt platform for our battery machines, we can work in a variety of ways. But of course we also need to use a saw to cut materials, and this is where the TSC from Festool comes into play. TSC, we have two 18 volt batteries, which means we can work with 36 volts and a brushless motor. Our limited power supply is used really efficiently. And of course the advantage with Festool is of course FS guide rail system. I can mark out the material that I want to cut with, put my guide rail into position. We can then clamp this securely on the cut that we need to make. And now with a battery powered machine we can achieve exactly the same performance as something that would of course be corded. Dust collection is fantastic, and of course now you can set the saw onto the guide rail and we can make the straight cut. And if we take the rail away, we have a really clean, splinter-free cut exactly where we need to work. But of course, battery technology has moved on a lot, and it means that if I can take a 5.2 ampere, you can of course work with a 2.6 ampere on any of the machines. And this is the message we get across to Festool. It's a combined system, and of course the advantages are that you can work in a different format for different types of applications.
And I now found some poor chap who's been dragged in from the outside world. His name is Rob. Rob, what's your interest in Festool tools?
Quality.
Really?
Having had poor quality tools for a long time, the realisation I've got to just buy stuff once, get the best.
And how have you established it? How have you done your market research?
It's almost entirely internet, mainly forums. It's just a case of listening to what everybody else is saying, particularly those in professional world, in the trade. Because my aspect is basically DIY. I need to make sure what I'm buying is the right thing.
Okay.
So that's where I look at.
So you're familiar with the Festool Owners Group forum, are you?
I've not yet registered, but
you must do that.
It's an interesting. It's a very honest forum.
Absolutely.
And particularly when you've got fans of a brand, if they don't like something, you can gauge pretty quickly.
Sure.
If they're being basically honest, rather than just people just blanket liking something.
And what Festool kit have you bought already?
The only one I've got at the moment is the PDC, the hammer drill.
Right, now you've got to get the Domino. It's absolutely brilliant.
Okay,
You've got to get a Domino.
The Domino 500 is likely to be a future purchase. I haven't yet got to that stage in the work where I can justify it. So I'm actually looking at the screw gun.
Okay,
that's the next one.
All right, for now.
Yeah.
But it will come, I assure you.
I suspect the 500 will, and then I'll probably end up going for the 700 instead.
Excellent. All right. Thanks a lot, Rob.
That's all
very
right.
kind.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, and so the other advantage of the Festool Roadshow is that it gives us a chance to showcase the new products. And of course, this is the HK85, and this is the pendulum cover saw that we've just released. And the big advantage of this is that we can use thick section timber with a deep cut blade, and it means we have a lot of power with the HK85 to cut through. And working with a parallel fence which comes with the machine is a really simple and easy way to work. So working with the machine like the HK85 with a 2,300 watt motor, you have enough power to cut through anything, including green oak. Of course, you've always got to be safe while you're working, and with the HK85, our riving knife is positioned just on the back of the pendulum cover. So as soon as you cut the material, the riving knife is doing exactly what it needs to do, and to keep the timber from nipping up onto the back of the blade. So working with the parallel side fence is great. We could also work with the FS guide rail as well, and that's what we'll do next. But what about if you can connect the HK85 to an FSK rail? And this now means that we can use the HK85 to cut across at 90 degrees, and we can cut timber to length very simply. I can put the saw onto the material, permanent stop goes onto the timber, and of course the other stop comes up, and now I have a 90-degree cut. And if we want to cut an angle, just loosen off the small screw, and we can bring this down to say 15 degrees, back onto the timber, up onto the angle stop, and then. But the HK85 has a really neat trick up its sleeve, and we can convert the HK85 to cut rebates, grooves and trenches in timber with the grooving block. So now this block is made for a groove at 25mm in width. The minimum width is 16. The maximum depth of cut when using this grooving block is at 35mm. So now that's been set correctly, we can pull the pendulum cover back, and there's two flats on each side of the spindle, and then on the underside of the block we have the same profile. Take the block, put it onto the machine, and then we can drop this into position. And the big advantage of this is that we have to work with the guide rail. using it freehand is maybe not the best idea. So now we've set the machine up, we can work with the FS guide rail. And the first application we can show is cutting a rebate alongside of a piece of timber. And of course the big advantage of working like this is that I can work in one area. I don't have to keep on going to a static machine and then back to taking my timber to a static machine and then back to where I'm working. So we can mark out where the groove is going to go, or a rebate is going to go. We can slide the saw onto the rail, pendulum cover will come back, and here we can fit our 36mm dust extraction hose. Our depth is set, so now we can make our cut. So creating a rebate is a very simple and easy process, and there's a big advantage of working with a machine like this rather than the router or even the spindle moulder. So the next stage is we can start to cut a groove along the centre of a piece of timber as well. And the big benefit of working within this system is that we can make a straight cut, we can make a straight rebate, or we can make the groove straight in exactly the right position as well. So rebates, grooves, really simple with the HK85 and the FS guide rail system. But the big advantage with working with the HK85 is, of course, we can work with the FSK rail as well. So now we can even make trenches across the material that we're working with, and I can ensure they're at exactly 90 degrees because of the guide rail system. And because we have two pre-cut knives on the block, it means that the two edges of a cut are also perfect while we're working. So we can bring this down to say 15 degrees, and now we can make an angled groove as well. Good application could be for staircase work with this type of rail and also the HK85. So, FSK rail, FS rail, a pendulum cover saw that you can convert to working with a rebate block, and this is the advantage of coming to see something like the Festool Roadshow, because you have immediate access to these types of new products and also the applications they can be used for. Thank you. Oh, go on then.
No, you first.
No, you first.
No, you.
Why don't you go first?
Willkommen sorry.
No, German, not
Yeah,
English.
that's the problem.
Not Dutch either, German.
Yeah.
But Deutsch.
Willkommen zur Festool Roadshow
Welcome to Festool Roadshow.
2015.
That was in German, I can't do that German bit.
Come on.
Welcome to the Festool Roadshow.
Willkommen zur Festool Roadshow.